Hello, everybody. I'm Everton de Oliveira from the Groundwater Project, and we're here today with Michael van Til. He's from Denmark, and he's the first person to register on our website from Denmark. We're very glad that he's done it. We'll talk a little bit about groundwater in Denmark and how he managed to know us and how he could help us spreading the news that we're going to work with people and distribute the books. So welcome, Michael. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, thank you very much. So tell us about a little bit about you. What have you studied? Are you originally from Denmark? And how did you get to know the project, please?
Sure. Well, to answer one of your questions there, no, I'm not originally from Denmark. I'm from Australia. So I was born and raised in Melbourne. I moved here about 3 years ago, a bit over 3 years ago, to Denmark. I graduated from the University of Melbourne with a master's in civil engineering, with a focus on the water resource.
Okay, so how enjoying Denmark so far?
No, really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. So it's now a bit of a change. The winters are a bit colder, and the summers are a bit.
I bet.
A bit cooler, but no, that's a fantastic country. So no, really enjoying it.
So you moved to work or to study?
I moved. My girlfriend's Danish. That was the main draw initially. But since moving, I've been working at the Geological Survey of Denmark and Greenland.
Oh, good.
So it's a research institute here in their Department of Hydrology. So I've been working there for the last couple of years as a research assistant. So working mainly with groundwater.
Okay. So you know a little bit about groundwater in Denmark already?
Yeah. No, I've been getting a bit of a taste for it. So it's definitely it's a very dynamic field, that's for sure.
Denmark is highly dependent on groundwater, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Basically, well, 99%, almost 100% of Denmark's drinking water is sourced from groundwater, and we're quite lucky in that regard because we've got quite a lot of both confined and unconfined aquifers with very high quality drinking water. So in most cases, especially water pumped from the deeper aquifers, there's no need for chlorination. It goes through a very simple sort of aeration and filtration process and some pH adjustments, but otherwise it's good to go and very, very high quality. So so I guess in that regard it's quite high on the list of ordinary Danes. It's a part of their everyday life, and every time they turn on the tap, they're in touch with groundwater. So it's in that regard it's a very important topic, I suppose, for all Danes, not just those interested in the field from a work perspective, from a scientific perspective.
What about recharge? How much water do they use? Are there places that you have depletion and you have to control? You have some information about that?
Yeah, that's sort of been a focus of the project I'm currently working on. Sort of having a bit of a look at how things might look, especially going into the future with climate change, and looking and seeing are there going to be areas where we're getting actually groundwater flooding. The groundwater table might be fairly shallow to begin with. There are areas already that are beginning to flood, especially in the winter months when we get quite a lot of rainfall, and in other areas in the summer months where we're getting a groundwater depletion because they're not getting the rainfall they're expecting. So it's in terms of I suppose climate change's predicted effects on groundwater, we're going to see sort of the extremes of some areas with flooding and some areas with depletion. So it's an interesting mix, depending on where you are in the country as to how.
Is it noticeable already?
Yeah, I mean, this last winter, we had a fairly wet winter. There was quite a lot of rainfall, and there were parts of Denmark that were farmers' fields were flooding, just with water just sitting on the surface, and that's just a result of the groundwater table rising and eventually spilling over onto the surface. So it's certainly a problem that has been quite visible and has been getting news here, that's for sure. So and the same in the summer of 2018 was also a very warm summer, and it was when almost drought was sort of getting into the ordinary vocabulary here, which is not particularly common. We usually get quite enough rainfall, but that summer was a particularly warm one, and it got people's attention that, hey, this can also be a problem, that we're getting depletion. It doesn't take much, or it doesn't take a long period of dry
So we're planning to, our project, we're going to distribute until the end of next year. We plan to have about 40 new books, electronic books, we're going to distribute for free. And so you work for the Geological Survey there, right? That's what you mentioned?
Yes, yeah, that's correct.
We're trying to have connections with geological surveys for all over the world, so we could help spread and distribute the content. So I would like to see if you could help us with that, because that's quite important. And not only distributing, but actually we're focused on sharing information back and forth, like not only distributing, like showing big guys distributing information. That's not the idea. The idea is learning from everybody, you know, in a big mix, big operation. So that'll be if you could help us with that, that'll be very, very welcome.
No, certainly. No, we'd be very keen. I know our department and the entire organisation are very keen supporters of the initiative. So that'd be something I'm sure would be very interested in.
That's very good. John Cherry would be very glad to hear that. We're gonna get in touch and see if we can match the efforts, because a country that has so much, you know, dependence on groundwater has a lot of knowledge for sure, right? And I'll bug you as well for helping us with in Australia, because you have your connections there, I bet.
No, that's it. I can have a couple of hands in a couple of pots there. So that'll be do whatever we can to.
That'll be very good. How did you get to know the Groundwater project?
It was a colleague of mine, actually. He brought it up. He'd obviously heard about it and thought, you know, given that our department focuses heavily on groundwater, that this would be something that would be that our colleagues would maybe keen to sign up on. And so it was through a colleague of mine. He put us onto it at GEOS, a fellow Dane. Yeah, so he was aware of the project and the initiative
So that's fine. It'll be very good if you could team up with your geological survey and help spread the information across Denmark. We would like to have, you know, to distribute, since it's a free for all. The more people we have, the best. Our idea is to spread information and also to gather information from people that hands-on, like you guys, you know, that you know what's going on. So because when you're producing only theory, it's good when you had the practice to it to get the real world into the business, right? So it's very important.
No, that's it. I mean, I guess, from a Danish context, I think that's a very good idea. I mean, the fact that, I've come from born and raised in Australia, where it's a very different context. It's groundwater depletion is the main focus, whereas groundwater flooding is not really something that would be so much on the agenda back home, whereas here it is very much the case. So it's depending on where you are in the world. There's a lot of different perspectives on and what the problems are and what the focus areas are within groundwater. So it's a very dynamic area, that's for sure. So
groundwater flooding is a very interesting topic. You're definitely sure, because it's not common everywhere. Groundwater flooding is usually the opposite, right?
No, that's it. No, that's it. Well, most of the cases, if we're thinking about water scarcity and these sort of things, it's the other way. That's the water going the other way is the problem. That's here. It can be having a bit of the opposite.
Well, our time is short here today. I'm glad to hear that you joined us, and I hope we could work together. We'll be in touch. Thank you very much, Michael. It was very nice talking to you. All right.
No worries. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.